What's up, guys? It's Motech. So this is going to be my first Scratch tutorial video. I hope you guys find it useful, and yeah, if you do, let me know, and then that will motivate me to make more of them. So what I wanted to do with this was I've used Scratch videos and Scratch tutorials a lot over the last 8 or 9 years or so in order to learn how to Scratch. And some of them are excellent. I mean, you know, to every person who's bothered to make a Scratch tutorial video, thank you, because they are super helpful. But I didn't want to just do what everyone else does, so I wanted to kind of take a slightly different approach to it, and actually use this as a way kind of explaining kind of my journey of learning how to Scratch. And over the years, there are a few things that I have learned, or realizations that I've come to that I'd never seen in any video, to be honest, and I've watched a lot of them. They may be out there, but I haven't seen them. And if I'd have understood these concepts a bit earlier in my journey, then I don't know what could have happened. But what I wanted to do was just kind of share some of them, and hopefully you find them useful. Anyway, so first sort of thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode is so when you learn to Scratch, right, you go out and you look at Scratch videos and what have you, and pretty much guaranteed you're going to start trying to learn a Scratch. So whatever that Scratch is, from the very simple ones to like super complicated. As I kind of started, I wanted to learn flares when I first started scratching because I loved them, still do. But so when you start to Scratch, to start with, any Scratch involves a combination of record and fader, and that's hard because one of the things that is hard about scratching is getting your brain to coordinate different movements or paces, rhythms between your record hand and your fader hand. So when you start to Scratch, like if you start to learn any Scratch with like two things, you're automatically starting something that's kind of hard to do. So my kind of the first kind of big takeaway, if you like, is when you first start to Scratch, forget about the fader and just think about the record for a while. How long is up to you. But if you learn, like, the more you learn and the more competent you are in terms of record control, the faster you'll progress in scratching. So the other thing when you start scratching is a lot of people talk about record control and how important it is. When I posted my first ever, I think, kind of video on Digital Vertigo to ask people for feedback, the big debate started about which hand should be on the fader of the record. So anyway, people say record hand's really important, record control's really important, it's much more important than the fader. And like when you start scratching, you think, okay, logically that makes sense, but you don't understand it because everything you're doing, you can't imagine a point where you wouldn't need the fader in order to help you make the sound. But actually, the vast majority of, all of the sound that you make is from the record, because the record is where the sample is. So that's the way I kind of think about it now, is I don't actually make any sounds with my manipulation of the fader. That is just to break up the sound that's being made. That might not make sense, but anyway, it makes sense to me. So anyway, record hand. So what should you be looking at? So the way I like to do this, the way I like to think about this is any sample. I think about the record as a pizza, basically. So if you think about this whole record as a pizza, and then with any sample, basically that's like a section of the pizza. So let's say that's the section of the pizza. But within that, you can kind of slice that pizza up as much as you want, right? So if you like a lot of pizza and you're like me, you're just going to want one slice. But you could have 2 slices, or if you could have 4 slices, or you could have kind of 8 slices. So as a visualization, I kind of think, well, there's a kind of like a big slice of the pizza, which is a sample, and then when I'm scratching, at any point you can change the number of slices. So you could say 1 slice forward, two slices back, right? Or you could say 2 slices forward, 2 slices back, or you could do 3 slices forward, 1 slice back. So that is kind of breaking up the sound within the minute, and that's where tears come from. And it took me a long time to understand what tears were and how to do them. But that's once you do this, it kind of helps you with tears as well. So that's the thing, is kind of breaking it up. The second thing is just simply the control. So when you start Skratch, again, you kind of, it's like that, right? But actually, that's only one kind of speed, and also you're only like working with a couple of like slices of your pizza. So being able to push the record forward, well, obviously you can let go, but being able to push the record forward and pull the record back with complete confidence and control over the way you're doing it. And I want to be very clear here, I don't yet have that. So that's one of the things that's like, there's kind of no endpoint for me to improving that degree of control of the record, but being able to do it fast, slow, or slow fast, or kind of slow it right down at the end. Cy does that a lot. Cymatic, he does like really nice slow downs like that. So really, I mean, for now that's it, because I don't want these to be like really long and drawn out and boring. But let me know in the comments if anybody watches this, if that makes sense. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to go into a bit more detail. But basically, if you want to start scratching, like if you're a beginner, or even if you've been doing it for a little while, there's no harm in also using this technique. Just forget about the fader file. We will come on to the fader. I love clicks. I love a bit of clicking, so don't worry, we're going to have you covered on the clicking. But for now, forget about that, and just think about this record, and think about the range of movement you can do, and the control. And things like, are you going to use your shoulder to do it? Are you going to use your elbow? Can't even work out how to do that. Or are you going to use your wrist? Or are you going to use your fingers? Or are you going to use the tips of your fingers? I was in Ireland last week for CSG. Massive shout to the CSG crew. And Itchy, I was watching Itchy scratch on the portable. Dope scratcher, and very nice guy. And he literally uses this like top knuckle bit here. I swear down, that was all he was like doing. Not like all crap like that I'm doing, but really nice. So when you think about record control, you've got so much options mechanically to control it, from like shoulder. Richie Nozzle Maroon, he was talking about a shoulder, and he's like proper power. Like, well, he's just a good scratcher. But you've just got so much. So start playing with a record, and any sample. It doesn't have to be this one. This is like an easy pizza. That's why everybody scratches over this. But you can choose any sample. So yeah, give it a go. Give it a go. Let me know in the comments if that was helpful. Yeah, and I'm bored now. Going to go make a cup of tea. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.